Sorry, say that again.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to the Caturday Show, AREVYA. Thank you for doing this. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling very festive this year. It's the
Yeah,
first year,
right?
right? Yeah, it's the first year I'm doing like Christmas sweaters and stuff. It's
Yeah.
it's fun. Do you have
really
any
fun.
Do you do that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I did my whole overlay is like
Yeah.
more Yule, as we call it, themed than winter themed.
Yeah.
And I have snow as well.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
channel points, people can turn it on and off and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Prim, Alice, how's everybody doing? Feel free to ask questions. We'll try to get to the questions as well, if you have any.
Do you like my wall?
I do.
Yeah. This is what I did like 11 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah.
Trying to nail into the wall, but being like really quiet so my neighbors would not kill me.
No, but you did a good job because they're pretty like straight, you know?
Yes.
Because what triggers me is when people have them like, you know, like off angles and stuff.
Oh, yes.
I'm a little bit OCD, as I've told you.
Hi, Suvi.
Hello, Suvi. Yes, AREVYA looks very pretty today. Everybody throw some oohs at AREVYA.
Ooh.
Her snow looks way better than yours. That's very true. Actually, yeah, my snow does look weird. Anyways, we'll try to fix that later. Listen, full disclosure, I don't have a list of topics, but I have a bunch of stuff I want to discuss with you. So if there's something you want to, talk, also feel free to direct the conversation. But why don't we start with, if people don't know you, I know you've been on the channel a few times, most people will know you. Who are you, right? Who's AREVYA? What can people expect when they go to your channel?
My name is AREVYA, as you said, and I am Twitch's most awesome streamer. No, I'm a streamer, a variety streamer, and I stream mostly RPGs and platformers, but I'm all about the coziness. I'm all about the inclusiveness. I'm all about the cozy. Yes, cozy.
I like cozy. That, cozy.
Yeah, Puppy Gang. Puppy Gang is my followers, and we are, I'm just trying to bring a bit of love and chill to Twitch. I'm those streamers, after you had a long day, you come home, you kick back, you have like your beer or your tea, whatever floats your boat. You like take your feet up on a table, and I just like, it's going to be 4 hours of me just, that is more me.
Yeah, I get that feel when I jump into your channel. And I think, am I right in that you don't really talk about, real world stuff too much, like, politics, religion, virus, all that stuff? You try to keep that, I think, outside of your, right? Is that
we talk
conscious
about
decision?
No, it's more like I talk about it, but I am so not easy to like say something that is extreme to me. I am very like okay, you do you, honey boo. So if somebody comes in and just like and I would just like, well, good for you.
Yeah,
good
disarm
for you,
them
baby.
with kindness.
Yes, but when we have had some instance on my stream when I got like really roughed up. So if somebody, I'm like, I work at a place that like research on different hard topics like poverty and stuff like that. So whenever things like that is really close to my heart. I'm not a researcher myself, I'm just in the administration, but I love working where I work. So whenever we have things about injustice, or it's talk about like games not wanting to be accessible, or a producer or game developer said something mean about disability communities, things like that, then I get my ruffles feathered. My feathers ruffled, maybe.
Right. Yeah, that's the right way around.
Yes.
And also, just real quick, Suvi, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Woo.
But so I don't know if I try. It's just that it, like, you could most likely say that you like, I don't know, if you come to me and say, AREVYA, I live together with 5 boyfriends and 7 girlfriends and we're having the best time of our life, I would just go,
Good for you.
good
Do
for
you? Yeah.
You do you. Good for you. Are you nice to them? Are they nice to you? Everyone is consenting. Good for you guys. Like, that is like, I don't get shocked.
Yeah.
So I do think it's not about me trying explicit not to talk about politics or things like that. It's just me going, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Madraxo, welcome and enjoy your gifted sub. Nice to meet you.
Ooh.
So I
How
wanted
about
to
you,
get
Johnny,
to
there?
know. No, it's a good question. I don't. I never let it monopolize the conversation. You know, like if it does come up, I address it. I think almost like you do, kind of disarming it a little bit. You know, I'm the only thing that I'm very like I feel strongly about is not being partisan, especially when it comes to politics. So you know, if I don't really say like support a candidate specifically, for example, on stream, I wouldn't go there. I'm happy to like you know give you my general view on a particular issue or talk about things like that, but never really you know supporting like let's say one side of something specifically, because I think there's little to gain and a lot to lose when it comes to effort and just you know people getting, there's a lot of emotional baggage and that stuff. I don't really want to like you know take a camp or represent a camp necessarily.
Absolutely. And I also think it's I also try to take that stand as long as it's like nothing that I think it's good to inform about. So I will never like be shitty about the game. Like, I don't do that clout thing where you like are really, really negative. But if I know like a game is deliberately being injustice toward a minority or somebody who is normally gatekeeped from the gaming community, then I will inform about it. I will not say like, oh yeah, followers, go and be mad. I will just say this and this and this, and that is why I will not. Like, I have said to my followers, sorry, I will most likely not stream the new Harry Potter game. I am a mad Harry Potter fan. You see up there?
Yeah.
Oh, you can nearly not see it, but it's Hedwig. Like, I've loved Harry Potter since I was a child, but like due to what I disagree with J.K. Rowling, I just said to my community, hey, you do you. If you want to play the game, I am not going to want to quote unquote make money of something I am so against when the owner of the product has said these and these things. But you do what you do. If you want to play it, have fun, but this is just my stance.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. It's almost like putting a pin on the conversation, right? You don't like let it drag on for a long time and like take over. By the way, Twisty Shape, what's up, man? It's an honor having you on. Cheers, buddy. And Colo as well. How are you, sir? Colo is also a prior guest and will be on again soon. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for joining us.
I'm going to go in and follow him.
Yeah. So, AREVYA, I want to get to know you a bit better in this conversation. So, what do you read books or listen to books, like audiobooks? Do you have anything? Yeah. What kind of stuff are you into?
Oh, this is going to be embarrassing.
Oh, let's go. Also, while you prepare, Madraxo, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, dude. Didn't have to do that,
cool.
But I highly appreciate it. Thank you.
That's awesome. So I you know that we got that Spotify up thing now, when like Spotify said you have been listening to music for so and so many hours.
Yes, everybody's posting their highly interesting wrap-ups.
Yes, I had like, you've been listening to music for maybe some hours. Like, I don't listen a lot to music. I listen to audiobooks. So I go to sleep listening to audiobook, I travel, I work. If I have like boring work, I can listen to something. So I'm like a huge audiobook fan. But my guilty pleasures are like books set in 1920s female detective books.
Okay, I can dig it.
Like, everything. And like, that is such a niche that if I ever meet somebody else that is into that, we're like, okay, we're best friends.
That's like really specific, right? Because you said 1920s specific. What is it about that setting that kind of solidifies it for you?
it's a lords and ladies feel. So it's like typically set in the UK or in like general all of is it Great Britain when you take all everything? Yeah. Usually set somewhere there, and it's about that when the world started to get more recognizable for us technology, things like motor cars or the freedom of women and things like that. And I don't know, I had just have a guilty pleasure for lords and ladies. Like, give me Downton Abbey.
They had a lot of class, right? I almost hope that some of that panache comes back into fashion. Like you look at those dudes. I guess, for me, because I'm a man, I kind of look more as to the men, how they dressed, right, with the vests and stuff. I think it's really elegant. But nowadays, if you were to wear a vest, you would almost be out of place, right? People would be like, "You're overdressed for this," right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can sympathize a bit.
Yeah, I also saw somebody saying in chat like 1920s horror. I also like horror books, so I can't do horror games or movies and stuff like that. But books are really, really nice. So I like everything that has to do with like criminal books, crime books, detective books.
Yeah, so that setting is really conducive to great stories. And as you said, like the woman role as well, it's cool because that was kind of the breakout time for women as well, where you started to have some really standout women where like people started to accept it, like, hey, we were wrong about relegating women to this like lesser role. It was almost like a recognition time where you started to have these standout women, and so it's a cool
absolutely. It's like it is a bit of a women can do kind of deal, which I do think I like a lot, and I'm like happy about, and just like you go, girl, you can do this, girl, you can solve this mystery.
Okay. And what are you watching right now? Either shows or movies? Is there anything?
I don't watch movies. Don't tell my boyfriend. I'm not a big fan of movies. Wow, I sound like a grandma. Oof, I am a grandma, but don't let my Twitch community know, because I try to seem like I'm hip and having like a TikTok and stuff like that. But I am a grandma. I have a grandma soul. So I prefer books and series, but I actually most of the things I watch is actually YouTube and Twitch. Okay. I find the quote unquote one-on-one ability to talk, like not talk, but like communication with people that YouTube can bring is something new, and I prefer that over a staged show. Like, okay, I like things. I watched some anime the other day, which was really, really fun, but YouTube do have like a soft spot in my heart, especially people that make stuff and people that can be a bit honest about how their day-to-day life is. That is my jam.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned YouTube, because YouTube, it's a delayed communication, right? So someone posts something maybe months after, you watch it and you're like, hey, that was amazing, right? Let's start a conversation. It's much different than Twitch, which is real time. And my feeling, I don't know if you get this, but on YouTube, it's like it's a one-on-one communication, because the feeling is that, you're creating this video and, one person is going to watch it. And for them, it's as if you created it only for them. Sorry, there's some motorbike race outside. I apologize for the noise. So the feeling of someone watching YouTube is almost like that person made this video for me, because it doesn't look like other people are watching alongside. Clearly, it's not the case. It's many people watching. But I get this like really personal thing sometimes with YouTube, where it's like, I have this cozy feeling where it's, just me watching the video. Twitch is it's nice in a different way, because it's a lot of people experiencing it together and stuff. So do you... is that how you see it as well? Because I know you've done some YouTube too.
Yeah, so I haven't dabbled like properly into YouTube. That is one of my goals for 2021, is like I need to dabble into YouTube. But I see Twitch is more like you have to be there. You be there or be square kind of thing. Because, no, I mean Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. I said that. Well, we are having a live show and it's happening now. Like a lot of people do watch VODs, and I do that as well, but it's not properly the same feeling. But like YouTube is more, as you said, you can watch it years later and you still can have that ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
So it's really, it differs really. And it's also why I want to dabble into YouTube, because that I find fun. I find it interesting and fun that you can like have something that is a bit more upstanding and can like, I don't know, keep on a conversation.
Yeah.
But I was watching a lot of, I don't know if you watched this. I know some of your Discord followers, the Discord members did watch this. But me and my boyfriend watched every night for a year now. We watched a show called Unus Annus. And they did that ultimate Twitch meets YouTube kind of crossover. So they made a channel, like Markiplier and Crank Gameplays, two extremely big YouTubers, made a channel together, said, we're going to post one episode each day, and then after a year, we're going to delete it. So after a year, they had like 12-hour live show, and then they deleted the channel live. None of the videos out there. You can never watch it again. They took that be there or be square kind of thing from Twitch over to YouTube.
Yeah.
And when I talk about it now, like a lot of people are going to go, what was that? But since we were in the moment, that was amazing. Like me and my boyfriend watched this every single night for a whole year. So we got like we got that Twitch connection to something on YouTube, which is insane that they were able to do and able to make.
It's something pretty unique.
Yes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next person being able to maybe do the other way around.
I was gonna say that it would be interesting to see it go the other way. Also, Roso, hello, and Davey Pizza, what's up? Because YouTube has that kind of, when you make a great video, it's almost like a lightning in a bottle feel, where you have it there and it's there. It's almost evergreen, as they say there, so people can go there, they can see that, months after the fact, you've encapsulated that in a consumable way. Whereas Twitch, it's there and gone, right? So you have the magic of, if you were there, well, you have that feeling that, I was there, I saw it, right?
Yeah.
Even people may see it later in the clip, you were there, so you got that intimate, cozy feeling.
It is like yesterday I saw, there was a what though, but I saw the first ever Twitcher I ever subscribed to saying that she was pregnant. She was expecting a child next year. Yeah. And like, that is something I felt like that Twitch thing where she had like a live thing. She could talk to people. You could see how like amazed the chat was insane. You would get it to somewhat degree on YouTube, but not in the same way, because then it would be like she posted and then she had to wait for all the responses.
Yeah, this is why. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, this was like live on the spot. She and her husband talked about like, we were expecting, and this is how
it becomes. Not
super
this is how
personal, it ended up. That sounds weird, but yeah. It got sort of like friend talking to you, which I do think Twitch have a bit over YouTube in form of like the what do you call it, community building.
Yeah, there's real power in knowing that you can ask a question and that's gonna shape where the show is going. Like the person's gonna react to that in some way or another, and I think that's why I rarely watch really big Twitch streamers, because that's gone, right? That aspect is gone. Like you go to Carnage, he's great. Co's great, but there's no hope in hell that, your message is gonna be read or he's, gonna actually talk to you in some direct way.
That is why when I watch people like Carnage, I watch them as I watch a YouTube. I have more of a YouTube feel with them. And same with Grand Pooh Bear,
and maybe
all of them.
Because he gets to play games early, right? Sometimes he's showcasing a game. So, he's a lot of people's go-to. I just want to see gameplay.
Entertaining, and he has a shit ton of content. So, Yeah,
he's always on, right? For years, he's been like every day, I think. So, yeah. Michelle, hello. Hello. Yes, enjoy your gifted subs. Thank you very much for that, Madrexo. Appreciate it. So, okay, now let's talk about pets and why cats are the best pets. No, I'm joking. I know
No.
I think you prefer dogs. So give me your...
Myself.
Why, yeah, why are you wrong in this? And yeah, just break it down.
No, but like when you're an intelligent person as I am, Johnny, then you get a dog that acts like a cat. So you get my dog. No, I like both dogs and cats, to be honest. The reason why we ended up with a dog is because my boyfriend's allergic to cats.
Gotcha.
He actually saved a kitten once. He was traveling home from... I've been on a really long hospital stay, and he was visiting me, and then on the way home he found a kitten abandoned in the roadside. There was no house around, there was nothing. The kitten was really ill, and he took the kitten home, but like on the way home he got like rashes and like a stuffed nose, and like because he had to have the kitten with him for 4 hours. It was a really long trip. So he like, and the kitten was like this small.
Aww.
And it's really cold and everything. So he had it in his sweater, so that hopefully like the kitten could survive. And when he needed to take like a boat, like a ferry, and the people on the ferry like came with ham for the kitten and water and milk and tried to like help it. But my sister has a lot of cats, so my sister could take it in. And today that cat that is named AREVYA is like 4 years old. Is a really big, really pretty gray cat, but she was supposed to be our cat, but my boyfriend was super allergic. So
but for you, it sounded like you're more of a dog person also.
I think it's a bit apple and pears to compare them. True. Because they are so different. Like dogs, you have like a companionship in the form of like they are so reliant on you, and you get to go on walks with them and train them in another different way. But cats, it's more like you have a body. Like they live with you.
Yes.
They don't rely on you in the same kind of way, but they still come and cuddle. They still are a ball of fluff and love. So
I think cats are for me like a really special companion to live with, and dogs are also in their own way. I've had both. I like both, by the way. People in chat are like, "Oh, right, dog town, gonna be angry with me." Also,
my
Paco,
puppy gang will come in here and just
no, but I think there's an element of dogs see you as the alpha dog, right? So it's almost like they want you to like them because they see you as the dominant like dog in the space. So I feel there's always an element of coercion. It's not really, right? I want to be clear, but it kind of feels like they're obligated to like me. Whereas cats, I always feel like you need to earn that shit, right? And sometimes you don't. Like I've had cats that they're like, I just want the food and that's it, right? Don't try to get in with me.
But that is funny also because my dog's brother, so like I know the owners of my dog's brother, a really, really cute dog as well. But that dog is also like, it isn't like Luna who like lies in the bed with me while I'm sleeping. Like she's that level. The picture I sent you this morning when I said like I'm up, I promise you.
Maybe
like,
in a few hours.
She was lying like here, and she does that every night. But that dog is more like meh. I'll be outside. See you in an hour. I'm going to bark on someone's neighbors, and like that is that kind of dog. So I feel like dogs can also be that, but like society just promote the cuddly dogs, which is a bit sad though, because I do think we get a problem then when owners get a dog that aren't the typical Hollywood standard of a dog.
There's a lot of problems with that, especially when people go to to a shelter and they're like, that one, right? Without knowing anything about the animal. You don't know if you're gonna get along. You don't know if, in case of dogs, some have really specific requirements, like some need to be run.
Expensive.
Like you need to run the dog, not only walk them, but also like exercise, right? So some dogs have very specific
that was also why, like, I think shelter dogs is amazing. It's amazing that you
Yeah.
want to help a dog that is in need. But like me, with my all of my disabilities, getting a shelter dog
You
that
have to
I
be
wouldn't,
responsible, right?
yeah,
Because also, like myself, I wouldn't be able to necessarily every day, like go out and
yeah,
walk them and stuff. It's
yeah.
like
So you
it's
need to
unfair
like,
to the dog to.
yes, like I needed to know that, because I had a friend that did the shelter dog. She's also ill, and she ended up getting a big, big, big dog, and really strong dog. She can't hold it. She needs a lot of help. She needs her
Right.
have a family. It's like she loves the dog, nothing about that, but like she couldn't independently take care of it due to that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why we decided to go for like, okay, but this is a breed we know we can handle.
Right. You have a responsibility, right? When you take
Yeah,
on an animal to give them a good life and make sure
yeah.
that they're covered. But it's becoming more common now for people to know that stuff. It used to be, worse some years.
Yeah, and I also think that shelters are so much better now with like actually being honest, like
Yes.
saying like, if you get this dog, this is a work in progress
Yeah.
dog. It's lovely, but it will most likely hate you for 2 months. It will be so scared of you.
Right.
It will pee inside. It will howl in the evening. Like this is and I do think that is so important, because like then the dog can go to somebody that has the time and love and energy and like will, because most of those dogs, my sister have a dog like that. She was a dog that has been hit a lot as a puppy,
Oh.
and when my sister got it, she was like afraid of everything.
Yep. They
She is
develop
still,
behavioral
yeah,
problems, right?
a lot of them. That dog still has some, like, she don't trust new people, and she still don't trust dudes that much. She's just like, when she meet a dude, she's just like,
Mm,
uh,
sus. Yeah.
yeah. But she is the most lovely dog. She will like lay on top of you and cuddle you for hours upon hours. She is the easiest dog I've ever had to train. She can, like, if you ask her to go and fetch something, she can find you when you're outside. Like, she is amazing. But there was years of work
Right.
before she has ended up to be what she is today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's some animals they come with a lot of baggage, and rescue animals can be really tough to turn around.
Yeah, I do think that's with cats as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, I see a lot
It's
of
so
my
different
friends.
because every
Yeah.
cat I've had before Basil has been like a rescue cat,
Yeah.
and they had really traumatic, let's say, upbringings, and they never
Yeah.
really got over it. They had different behavioral issues,
Yeah.
each of them. But Basil is like a clean slate. It's incredible. He's like at peace. He gets along with everybody. It's almost like a blessing. Yeah.
It's
great.
really cute though. But like, yeah, I do think sadly cats get more mistreated. Like, I'm not going to like, but I feel like it's maybe not more mistreated, but many more
It is
people
very
give
common
up.
for sure.
Yeah, they give up on cats really easy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that cat is a slightly bitch, I'm going to give it away. Like, or
Yeah.
like, people just put them outside. They don't do that with dogs, especially not in Norway, because we don't have rural dogs in Norway. So it would be weird if somebody see a dog running around in the street, they're going to like, this is wrong. But a cat, like, people keep on every summer just putting their cat out and never letting them in again. It's really sad.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff is rough for me. The animal abuse and stuff that just gets to my heart in a big way.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about it, and of course, people too, right? If you see someone struggling, you want to help them. But there's something about like an animal that it's almost like, I guess, because they're a bit more helpless than we are in some ways,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like your paternal, well, in your case, maternal
Yeah.
instinct kicks in, and it's
Yeah. I'm going to help you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I wanted people to get to know you a little bit. So, people may not see this coming, but you're actually an accountant, aren't you?
Yes. And
You're losing all your
everyone-
fans now.
And everyone on TikTok is going to go now, is she actually an accountant or is she something else? Because there are a song going about people having OnlyFans or doing other, like, that kind of business or things, and saying like, yeah, I'm an accountant. And I have had so many younger people, when I say I am an accountant, going like, what kind? And I was just like, well, I don't know, organizational accountant. I don't know. Are there different kinds? And they were just like, yes, it is. Which one is you? So yeah, but I am an accountant. Oh, I'm
So
an accountant assistant.
It's funny because, you know, each profession has its reputation. Like you
Yeah.
talk about lawyers, they get a bad rap because, oh,
Yeah.
you're a liar, right? You're a bad person because you're a lawyer. Not
Yeah.
true. I know many lawyers, they're fine. But accountants are like the boring stereotype. So when you say, what's a boring profession? Accountants.
Accountant.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I
so
didn't
what was it about it that caused you to go like, you know, I could do that, or that sounds all right to do as a job?
Okay, so to be honest, I took my bachelor degree in economics and administration, business and administration. So I have something called a BAB. My major, or what we don't have the same system as you guys in England, but we have like, you do all the subjects and then you take a major in that subject. So we can't, like, as a business on going on college for business, I could never take like a nursing
Right.
subject. Some countries give you the possibility to take like minors in like history or art and things like that. You don't do that in Norway in the same way. So, but when you say you have a major in Norway, you say that is what my focus point of my whole bachelor were. And my focus point was actually management and administration.
Okay.
The thing is this, that I am, as I said earlier, I am disabled. I will never be able to work more than around 50%, at least not now. Maybe in 10, 20 years, who knows? But
Gotcha.
now, no. So when I was going to apply for jobs, it was a bit like, well,
yeah, what
no
are the
one-
options, right? Because you have to
What are
make
the
it work
options?
with your situation. So
Yeah. And there is, sadly to say, that the world around disability, like how the world handles disabilities, are bad. And a lot of people were like, why can't you work more? Why? Like, come on, you can do this, because I don't look ill.
yeah.
So when I had a friend that I studied with that works as like recruitment organization kind of thing. So he recruits into other organizations. And he heard that somebody needed an accountant assistant, and was like, well, and they also, like, they told him like, we need somebody that can be a bit strict, that can like get things done, that can like go into somebody and not being afraid to go into them and say like, hey, do your papers or I'm going to tell your mom. They needed like a girl like that. So he called me and like, I have a good position for you. Do you want to apply for it? And I said, of course, yes. And I got a job. And like, so for me, like, I didn't wish or want for accounting, but it's 2020. You do what you like.
You do what you gotta. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You
that
do what you
makes
gotta.
sense. And
but
what you said there, sorry to cut you off, but what you said
problem.
about like people not understanding your struggle, I think, you know, it's something I sympathize with a lot, because you know, it may, like for me, in my case, it may not look like it, but like in turn, it's hard to, you can't put on a bullet point in a form when you're filling a form, like, I look fine, but internally every step is an agony or a struggle.
No.
There's no fill form for that stuff, right?
No.
People can't really, it's very hard to convey that sort of, you know, inner
like
difficulty.
And like, even in Norway, that is such a progressive country, we have come like really far. Like, even in Norway, you aren't going many 10 years back before, like, if you have a disability, go and be shunned over there.
Yeah.
The society don't want to have you as part of the society. We want you to be over there. So like, society still don't necessarily know how to handle. They don't know, like,
yeah, and people get awkward around you as well. They're like, oh, you know, touching you with glass.
Yeah.
What's the expression? I don't know.
Gloves,
you understand?
silk gloves.
Yeah.
But it is like, so it is. I'm luckily, like, the organization I work for now, I really love it, because one, I feel like I'm doing something good for society, which was really important for me, and two, they respect me so much. When I like, if they ask me to do something outside my work hours and I say no, it's like they don't guilt trip me. They're just like, fine, it's your choice. Like they're so good with that. So I'm glad. So they asked me actually, because I normally just had 6 months there, and they asked me, can you do 6 more months because we are okay with your work? I said yes. And then now they asked like, hi, can we actually hire you through the company, not like the agency?
Yeah.
So in February next year, I will actually be properly working for the organization, not through anyone else. So I have until March 22.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's really, really nice.
No, that's cool to hear. And I think, you know, the part-time works really well for Twitch. I don't think like, you know, going full-time on Twitch is almost it can be worth it, right? If you're doing really well, but a lot of times in a lot less hours, you can make the money you need, let's say, for your basic stuff with a part-time job, and then have Twitch be a bit more lightweight, where you don't really rely on, you know, people subbing. Otherwise, you're gonna go hungry that month, or something like that. You know, I find it removes some of the pressure around it.
And I also, so the other day I was in someone's Twitch channel, someone I really, really look up to. But I sadly got like this hit by this, like, I can never do this. I'm an ill person.
Yes.
We're not quote unquote allowed, because that is what I was told a lot in my growing up. I was like in normal school and stuff like that, and I was like told like, you have to do this. If not, you're not allowed to do anything else. So I was like a really child of like only work and no play child, because I didn't have time to have fun. Right. And like I got a bit hit by like, oh, I could never do Twitch, even though that is my dream due to my health problems. But then a really good friend of me said like, but we all have different journeys. You just need to find a way that fits in with your life.
Yeah.
Which is AK also why I want to do YouTube, because if this ever get to be my job one day, maybe, who knows, I can like, you know, on the day I want to be a goblin and sitting on my sofa looking like I have just been born again, because yes, that is what illness make you look like, and go like, I can do
very
that. And
specific description too.
Yeah, like lovely pictures in everybody's head now, but like then I can do that. Then I can just edit. So like you have to find your way, but that is hard, and like that is also hard in the work world generally, because we are really like minded into thinking that work is only this, and if you don't do this, then you can't have a job.
Yeah, so, no, that's fair. Paco, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So let's move on to something a bit more, you know, bright and positive. Tell me about your favorite food, because this is something, and let me take a guess, right? Because I was thinking, I was picturing you with a big smile. What would be the plate in front of you, right?
Okay.
So my guess, and let me know how far I am, is like a big plate of French fries and a burger. How close did I get?
You're so wrong.
Oh, disaster.
You're like way off.
Okay, tell me what is
dim sum dumplings. That is my
hold on.
Asian food.
Grilled dumplings or boiled?
Yeah, I love the soup dumplings.
Yeah.
So yeah, pot noodles, noodles, dumplings, spicy stuff. I should not eat spicy stuff because my stomach just goes nay every day. But I don't like food that has a lot of fat in it. It has nothing to do with anything dietary. It is just because my stomach doesn't play
fat
well. No, not at all. So like if I were to eat that burger and chips, I would most likely be a lot of nauseous. So I prefer Asian food. That they have so much lean food. You can eat a lot of it, but don't feel like you're going to be around it.
Yeah, Carillion, so, I hope things are well after the surgery. I haven't heard much about that. Nudes, yes, noodles are great. I love noodles.
What is your favorite?
So
okay, let me guess.
Oh yeah, dude, you do.
Yeah, let me guess. For some reason, I'm like thinking of you like a pizza dude.
It's close.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I would say like Italian food for me.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
Italian food. For me, lasagna is probably my favorite, and I do like with my dad. My dad used to do this lasagna. Well, he does this lasagna, and he taught me. Now I have my own like recipe. So like a good homemade lasagna is probably, you know.
My boyfriend is also a really, really big fan of lasagna. And I also have a homemade lasagna. I also sometimes make it without pasta. Not because lasagna with
Do you
pasta
do like
is bad.
bread or how?
No, I do like a lasagna with what is that plant called? Is it zucchini? That thing looks like a cucumber, but it's not a cucumber.
Yes,
What
you
kind of
use
thing?
that for
It's
the
not an
layers?
eggplant. It's not an eggplant either.
No, that's
it's
the tame version of the eggplant.
Yeah, the tame version. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can make it like if you do like make them really, really thin.
Yeah.
And put them on paper, salt them to get the water out. Then you can get it crisp. So it gets like a crispy version. So it's lasagna. I love the regular lasagna as well, but I also love to make that one. So yeah, I like making food. Making food is really, really fun.
I find it fun as well. Nothing like that takes me hours, but you know, certainly, you know, I do like cooking my own stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know what? I didn't expect your answer. You caught me. You know, I'm usually pretty good at pinning people on their favorite foods, but you got me. So,
but it's so much fun because like the other day I was talking on a Discord channel and they were just like, "But you're such a normie," and I was just like, "Girl, sit down.
Sit down, bitch. You
I've
don't
been
know."
traveling to Asia. Well, not many times, but I've been traveling a lot around in Asia. I love Asian food.
Where
I
have
love
you
Asian
been?
music.
In Asia.
I've been to Thailand, so 2 places in Thailand. I've been to Beijing in China. I've been to Tokyo in Japan, and I've been to Seoul in Korea, South Korea, and I've been to the border in North Korea.
Whoa.
So I've been to that house.
Wait, hold up. How was that experience being in the border?
That was actually freaky because when I traveled, I was like a huge goth kid, and like we got asked because I was traveling with my school. And like they said to us, like, please dress a bit modern. Like, can you? No, not modern, but modesty. Is that what you call it?
Oh,
like
modest.
Because
modest. Covering yourself.
Yeah,
as much
because
as
like I had side cut. I had like leopard imprints in my side cut. I was like that corset kid, high heels, stockings. I was that kind of girl. And that was just like, so I took like I had with me like a really, really long skirt and like tried to like get my like hair down and stuff like that. But I'm from Norway. We have the most guns. I do think the most guns in a country in the whole world, like something like that, licensed guns or something. But it's merely only for hunting. Our cops doesn't even have guns in Norway. So coming to that, which is a military place, and see people carrying guns was so goddamn scary for me because that was a culture shock deluxe.
And you know they can use them too, right?
It's like this is a military place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is like a little blue house, and like one part of the blue house is North Korea and the other part is South Korea, and then they have like pictures of both the prime minister or a dictator in North Korea, and like that is where they have their talk when they have a talk. But like they stood in there, 2 guys from each nation in like full uniform, full gun loaded. And we also got to hear a lot of stories of like, because it is a really, really sad story about the war and about how those nations got split and everything like that. A lot of sad stories on both sides. And I was scary, but it was fun. I'm glad I did it.
It's a different world, right? Because when you think that they have like a white list of maybe 12 haircuts you can have, and if you don't, that's like, you know, a punishable offense.
Yeah. We said like earlier, like what can ruffle our feathers? I actually have, after I've traveled, that like when people make too much jokes of North Korea, like, and then I mean the people that are so like they're just forgotten by the world. We're just saying like it's okay. That is something that ruffles my feather. I laugh about the government as much as you want, but like don't laugh about the people. So yeah.
Yeah, no, the people, in some ways it's like they don't even know. In the worst cases, they're not aware of how much they live in a bubble, right? I would imagine. I don't know how it is, but
No,
when
like
you hear some people that got out and they talk
Yeah.
about it, it's like you don't know, you can't
no,
know.
so it's hard.
Yeah, it's
But-
crazy. So I mean,
but yeah,
some places
Asia, have you-
around the planet, they just live in a completely different way.
Yeah, they're like that is also why I love traveling, because
Yeah.
so I watched this YouTuber that is a YouTuber that born and raised in the US and now live in the UK, and then he has like a lot of movies where he says like well he what do you call it like he takes both the countries and he put them up against each other and tell like what do we do, what do they do, and so yeah, and it's really really like interesting. And he had like a video the other day where he said like, okay, it is easy for the rest of the world laughing of the US and how like the election system went now, but like he came from one of the states where like that sort of only getting one-sided news was completely normal, and he showed tweets he had wrote it in high school, like how like you would never think he would wrote them, because he is such a open-minded kind of dude today. You would never thought he would say something like that. And it was so interesting. He said one of the things like, it's so easy for other countries that has the ability to travel a lot to be like, but you have to look outside the world. But it's not so easy if you live in a country that doesn't want you to travel. And yeah, which is again why I love traveling, because every time I travel somewhere, I learn something new, and I learn something that means that Norway most likely does things in a weird way. And I love that. I do think that is a good way of growing.
Yeah, it gives you some much needed perspective, right?
Yeah.
And humility, like, oh, it, you know, maybe I did have some stuff that was really easy for me compared to some of these other folks.
Yeah. And like you start to understand like why, well, maybe not understand, but you can sort of start to wrap your head around like why does China does like they do. Are you agreeing with it? No, but it might make more sense now. And
yeah, China is a weird one, right? Because have they ever had a democracy? I think to this day they've never had a democracy.
It's
there
though, because like I wouldn't go so far saying that they don't have any kind of democracy compared to like North Korea, because they are not like North Korea.
There's levels to this.
There's levels. Yeah, it's so much levels. Yeah, but you have lived in different countries, right? You have lived.
Yeah,
in
I was born in
countries?
Brazil, and then I moved to Spain when I was around 12, and then to the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you learned a lot from that? Like, is it something you feel like you have learned by living in different cultures?
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I've learned a lot. You know, it would be hard to condense into one sentence, but it gives you that perspective. Like, you know, some stuff that people view as commonplace and take for granted, I am like in awe. Right? So some stuff like heated floors. I know it sounds silly, but you know, the place that I now live in has heated floors, and I was like, are you telling me that the heat just comes from the floors homogeneously and it heats up? I don't know. It's one of those, like, you know.
I so like when I started to travel, I've been a lot to England, and I was just like, why don't you guys, why is every house made of stone?
Right.
Well, because you come from a country where like there is so many trees. We have so much of it. And we also have a lot of space, so if it starts burning, normally it doesn't spread too much. But like that is something I did not think about. Why so many other countries don't make their house out of trees. It's normal with stone or anything other than a tree.
Yeah.
Tree houses aren't that normal in the rest of the world. 90% of Norway's houses are made of tree. So it's like, it's weird. That is things like you when you start to travel, you go like, oh, haha. my upbringing is not the only thing that is correct in this world. What is this?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's that perspective. And then it also shows you that in different places, people, behave differently, but at the same time, it's just people everywhere. Like you find shitty people and good people, So, this idea, nowadays it's very common to poop on Americans because of recent events. It's like, oh, Americans are dumb. No, in every place, there's shitty people. There's, people with, maybe perceptions you don't agree with or views you don't agree with. It's just that, in the case of America, it's a massive country, right? The size of it is like, I don't know, comparable
Insanely
to,
big.
yeah, how many Europes is America? It's like many, right?
And it's also like, and at the same time, I saw a study now saying that it was 6 out of 10 Americans don't know if they will have food for the rest of the month. Like
Right.
they don't know if they will have money enough to get food for a whole month. And then it's like, and then it's so easy for us in Europe to say like, but you need to travel more. Americans, you need to look outside of your own borders, which I do think they still have to do. But also that's quite a classism thing to say, because being able to travel, you need funds to do that. You need the freedom to do that. You need to have the money. That isn't necessarily something everyone has.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can drive 8 hours and then come to a new country.
Right.
You can't do well. You can do that in where you are as well. But if you need to go to the mainland Europe, you need to go by sea. But like, I can drive and then I can get 8 hours and then I can get to Sweden.
Yeah.
If I were in Texas, in the middle of Texas, and I were to drive for 8 hours anywhere,
you're still in Texas.
I'm still in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm still in Texas.
Yeah, it's crazy magnitude. Yeah.
And then when we laugh about them, which is easy to do because they do a lot of shitty things, it is a bit like we also need to think that it is a whole different world for a reason.
Yeah, no, that's very true. So with all that said, how do you feel about, that is a very lighthearted question, how do you feel about the future of humanity overall? Are you optimistic?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you think about like where we're going to be, like in the next gen.
Yeah, I am absolutely. Because I don't know, I am like one of those that see the good. I easily see the silver lining of stuff. But I work with people that their job is to research how is the world going and what can we do next to make the world better. The world is a better place.
Yes.
Like there are so much things that are better today than 20 years ago. So insanely many more things.
We've made insane progress in many liberty things or,
Yeah, and like
rights.
Poverty is not as huge as it was 20 years ago. Or like there is so many positive things today. And also when we're millennials, we can shit on the generation under us, which is the Gen Z. But then at the same time, when I look at like TikToks, which is something I find really, really funny, I see like, wow, okay, but that is a generation that has so much love to give it to each other. They struggle, a lot of them struggle, but they are so acceptant of each other.
Yeah.
They are so acceptant of doing new things, and I love it. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can make a better society for tomorrow because this generation is okay with everything. They're just like 2 thumbs up for everything, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's become, it used to be that, just to pick one case, the case of like gay marriage, it used to be like outrageous, right? What, you want to marry someone of your same sex? Nowadays, someone who's actually against it and is running, let's say like a politician, and he is or she is against it, immediately that's a point like, well, what do you mean? You're against, like, 2 dudes getting married if they love each other, or two gals, right? It's become almost impossible to hold that position if you're, let's say, running for office, which I think is a good sign that the times have moved, in that progressive direction.
And it's so important that children from a young age learn that it is a lot of different people out there. So I grew up with a gay sister. She's been gay as long as I can remember. And I didn't actually know that people were against gay people until
You
I
never
got
even
to
came across any
not until I was in
bullying.
like middle school, and then I got a really, really Christian teacher,
Right.
and she was really, really against it. And then my mom actually had to sit me down and tell me that society thinks it's wrong. And I was just like, what?
Huh.
But how? My sister is the most amazing person there is. Why does people hate her? And she was just like, I can't give you an answer. So, and I feel like that experience that I had, there is so many more youths that grow up today and just like they have always been told that gay marriage is okay and gay love is okay and gender of different kinds are okay. So they grow up to be the same warmth against others that I were.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised when I met same-sex couple when I was a kid because that was part of the norm. I had my mom and my dad that was different sex couple, and then I have my sister who had the same sex couples. So it was like I was used to both. So yeah. And I do think the generation that growing up now will have a lot of that same experience, and it for them it's just normal, and I'm so glad for it.
Yeah, I think I couldn't
Yeah.
have said it better myself. I'm also glad that things have pretty much moved in the correct direction. I think we need to be careful to make sure it's still going in that direction and not backwards. But yeah.
Yeah. And that is like every generation has their own fights. So
Yes.
like, and it is fun. I said this the other day. The things that when I understood that my mom tried to tell me that the world doesn't necessarily are okay with gay people, she like showed me stuff like a newspaper, what people thought. The same kind of hurtful things that I learned in the 90s, early 2000 is the same kind of speech I hear today about things like transgender people. Same. You could take a newspaper from the 90s and just put it in. And that is also fun. So as I said, I read a lot of stuff from 1920s or in, like early. And I read Sherlock Holmes. I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I read all the books.
Right.
And there they talk about immigration, and they read a snippet from actually real paper in 1910, I do think, talking about immigration. You could have snipped it out of the book and put it in a paper today. Would be just the same conversation. So it is like a proof somewhat, or my belief proof somewhat, that the same fight, we are taking the same fight every single time. The same things. But it also is a thing that shows that, well, that means that we can win every single time.
Because over time it seems to be going in this direction, it seems that that's the tendency, right?
Yeah.
Cap, we accept you as you are, my friends. No need to take 20 years to convince us. And also Dragon, thank you for the follow. Hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. And AREVYA, I want to talk a bit about your channel. First off, you've been doing TikToks.
Yeah.
So tell me, how has that journey been going for you?
That is actually really fun. So as I said earlier, we in like the streaming community, if you're not a streamer yourself, you might not have heard about it, but it's always a talk of like, how can I build a community? That is like a constant talk. And we have like two polls. The poll that says only do Twitch, and then you have the poll saying do Twitch but everything else. And I have always found that so hard, but I, as I said earlier, just had to learn that I cannot stream for 8 hours a day. I will never be able to. I don't have the body. So I need to start doing other content. And I started TikTok just because I want to start YouTube. I don't have the equipment to start a YouTube channel. So I would just like, well, then I start TikToks and I will learn. And I've actually learned. I've learned a lot about how to get your idea from your head out on not paper, but out on like a video format. Like how do you clip things like that. It's golden to learn. And the fun thing is, like last stream, I got somebody coming in like, hi, I can see you live. I am from your TikTok.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what? That's really a good sign.
I know. And she was
working.
just like, Yeah, she was just like, she was so thinking it was so fun. She sat there talking for us for like 2 hours. She joined our Discord. She is an amazing person, and she came from my TikTok. She have seen all my stupid, and I mean stupid things I do on TikTok, and was just like, I want to talk to this girl.
Uh-huh. And then
So,
they
yeah.
can have the, you know, the one-on-one experience of jumping in and seeing who's behind the TikTok, right? It's cool.
Absolutely. And I don't think like there's only one way to grow anywhere.
No.
You can like do it so many
But
different
certainly
ways.
the general idea that you need platforms outside of Twitch to generate interest and, you know, garner attention elsewhere, that's, I think, we all accept that as pretty much gospel at this point, right? If you're only relying on Twitch to get new people,
hard.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
trickle
hard.
in. It's very slow.
The
Right.
discoverability on Twitch
Yeah.
is so bad. It's so bad.
And I think here's the problem too, because they have created some things like the front page or recommended, but the problem is the way people engage with the platform is not using any of those. The way I use Twitch is I go directly to my following tab and I see, okay, who's online? From my friends that I have discovered elsewhere. So I'm rarely like, oh, let me go to the front page and like, I don't know, check out some new channels. I do it sometimes, looking for to see what other people are doing, do research and stuff. But
I had somebody coming in and gifting me tipsing me $20, and he didn't follow me or anything, and he was just like, I am so sick and like done of seeing you on top of my recommendation page, but you're on so often. I'm just going to give you this money because you go, girl. And I was just like, what? And he was just like, well, I've seen you every single day now. Well, here you go, get some money. I'm going to go somewhere else. And I was just like, oh, I've never had that happen. I was just like, thanks.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. You're seeing some transfer then between TikTok and Twitch.
Yeah.
That's cool to see.
So, but have you done anything like we talked a bit about like 2020? I said I want like, okay, do we have more time? I see that we've been on for an hour.
I have more time. I'm cognizant of yours, so feel free to give me the go ahead and we'll wrap it up when we have to. But I'm happy to push a bit more.
What have been like your like if you because I'm at the moment trying to like make a YouTube video where I talk about my 2020 in Twitch world. How has your been? Like, what if you can like pinpoint something from this year? What would it be?
So it's an interesting question. Because
that's my mom, by the way.
Oh, hello, AREVYA's mom. Nice to meet you. I think I already met you last time we did this, but hello.
Yeah.
So I think for me it's maturing my vision for, what I want my brand to be. I know whenever people say, oh, my brand, it sounds a bit arrogant, right? But I think it's important for you to be deliberate about how you want people to remember you or what you want them to remember you by. Because if you're not deliberate about those things, then highly unlikely that people are going to actually perceive some sort of brand from you, right? You're just leaving it to the winds, let's say.
Yeah.
And I've one big thing I've tried to develop is, this kind of brand. And so whenever I post something, it's very deliberately in brand. And it's not that I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. It's just that I'm trying to highlight the things that I find are the things I want to be known for.
Yeah.
Right. So, for me, like the few things would be like, more or less like this kind of positivity and the idea that, I'm excited about stuff and, I enjoy, despite all maybe the difficulties and all the stuff, there's always something I'm enjoying genuinely.
Yeah.
I try to convey that and try to make that contagious. I think if any, that's one of the, like, let's say services that I'm trying to provide. And then the other part of the brand is also like kind of minimalist, but clean looking when it comes to the aesthetics of the. So this is a big thing for me. I think I talked to you about this stuff. I think a lot about like even the smallest pop-up. Like, does it need to be there, right? Does it look clean? So I want people, if there are like a few things that people remember me by, are that positive thing, and that maybe I inspired them to look something they didn't know about and maybe learned something or got excited about something, or they thought the channel looked clean. And then also the music stuff, right? Oh, it's the guy with the guitars, right? That's also part of the. So I guess for me, it's been a journey of trying to establish that brand more, and then experimenting with other platforms, a bit more Instagram, a bit more Twitter, recently with the fleets stuff, like creating stuff specifically for fleets, for example. I've been experimenting a bit more with that. But yeah.
That is fun. I do think we actually have had a lot of the same journey in 2020 then.
Okay.
For me also has been a lot of finding out what is my brand.
Right.
Who am I? What am I? What path do I want to take? Or what they call if you're going to go for marketing, they call it, what is your unique selling value? What is your unique selling value, and how are you going to pinpoint that to your target, which is the viewers you want to watch? So that is like where we get theoretical up in here. But I do think that unique selling point is not meant to be like, I want to sell you something, but it's also a bit like when I want to have a consistency.
Yes.
I just want to get people to know what they will get. It doesn't necessarily have to do with like typical when you think like a company doing branding, but more like, how can I make this better for my viewers? Yeah. And being a streamer, that is typically hard, because yes, we are a brand and actually slightly a company, but we're also a person, and that will also always be a hard middle way to like hold up against each other. So
but that's a big one, right? If you don't know what you're aiming for in terms of brand or perception, you don't know if you're hitting the mark, right? You don't know how close you are.
You don't know did people like this because of the game I was playing, or was it because we had a community?
Right.
Like, what is the reason why people had so much fun in, like, say, March? And then if you have a more idea what you are, then you can start and analyze it. Not necessarily for, as I said, for this company cold-hearted kind of view, but also for more of like an entertainment kind of deal. What do people want to see from me?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
But what is your, like, if I may, being a bit tough here, but may I have the last question?
Oh yeah.
Which is like, what is your way in 2021? Where do you want to go? Do you have
with the channel specifically?
With the channel, yeah.
So now that I have a better take on what the brand is, I want to lean into it more. I want to find ways of encapsulating what it is that I'm, let's say, offering, whether it's by small fleets that showcase what I'm able to offer, let's say, in a good way, and put it out there in effective ways. I guess is trying to put that out there in a more visible, compelling way, so that more people can find it if it adds value to them, right? Because the reality is a lot of people may come to like what I offer, let's say, but they don't know, right? They don't really know who I am. Maybe they've seen me mentioned on Twitter, but they don't have a big reason to jump in and actually watch me. So it's finding, again, that those points that I think are the selling points for my shit, and putting them into these neat capsules that you can throw out there. And this is why I think TikTok for you is maybe a really good fit, because you have these good ideas where maybe like a skit, right? I've seen some of your stuff where it's like sometimes it's very short, but it's like a concise vision for like an end-to-end piece that maybe showcases some of your humor or silliness, whatever it is, right? And then people see that and they're like, hey, I want to get more of that. That's, I think, the kind of thing that I wanna explore more.
Yeah.
What about you? Give me your
My
2021 vision.
2021 vision. My vision for 2021 is absolutely start proper YouTube. I love streaming. That is where I always will have my heart and my eggs. I have a million eggs. And I will have my eggs in the Twitch basket. But I also have to start realizing that I am who I am. So I've started, as you said, finding my brand with being this wholesome, positivity, silly, having this really bad laughter that I have, and my ability to make inclusive community, an actually inclusive community where we can talk to each other. But I cannot stream another day in a week. I will not have the health to do that. So I am now trying to see that, okay, I want this. How can I make it fit my life? And I do think that is going to be through YouTube. So I want to start showing people other things. Like I want to start showing them, when I talk about like accessibility, gaming, I want to show them how I upgraded my streaming room. I want to show them more things around streaming than doesn't necessarily the streaming itself.
Yeah.
Me making stuff, me just being silly, because I'm so silly. And like, but being, showing all of that.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet. So on that note, let's end on what's coming on your channel, because I know you've been doing some Ni no Kuni, and I've been enjoying, catching some of that as well. It's a beautiful game, isn't it? And,
yes.
But what's your next? Do you have a next up?
Yes, I will tomorrow, and I'm actually so glad you say this because no, I can be a little like
it wasn't planned. People in chat are like, "Oh, they're in cahoots." No.
No, like we still have some Ni no Kuni left, so I have most likely next week. But tomorrow I'm going to have a community stream or community night where I'm going to take my Yule tree, as I call it, not a Christmas tree, Yule tree, and I'm going to decorate it and light it. We are going to make a gingerbread house with my boyfriend, and we're going to decorate the gingerbread house and being silly for like 4 to 6 hours, just doing decorations, doing Yule things, doing like really, of course, non-religious, but more of a cozy kind of, hey, you want to see me make this gingerbread house? Let's do it. Let's see us fail. And me and my boyfriend are so different individuals. Like, we are so different in how we are. So it's going to be fun to see us decorating, because he is so nitpicky on things I'm not, and the other way around. And but after I'm done with Ni no Kuni, I will go over to play Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Okay.
That I do think is a game I want to end
the first one?
That's the second one.
The second one.
Second, yeah.
Yes,
Ori and the Blind Forest is the first one. And we played that, was really fun. So I want to maybe end like the year on that note.
Beautiful game, beautiful choice. Cyberpunk, no? You're not... No.
Well, I try not to play those big games so early due to everybody else will do it.
It will be very
same with Assassin's Creed. I've seen you play it. I was just like, I'm going to do that
will
next
you play
year.
it on your own time, do you think? Like,
I don't
off
have
camera?
time.
No time.
No, I don't have time. I sleep so many hours throughout the day, so
you need that beauty sleep.
Yes. Are you going to play Cyberpunk?
Yes. It will be a big thing in the channel. We're creating a character. We're going to role play. So it will be great.
Yeah. I do think like that is something I will do, but I will go in. Since I don't stream that many hours. So when people need to like wait so long between each time I stream, which is only 2 days, but in Twitch live, 2 days is like a year.
It can be a lot of time.
Yeah, they will most likely jump over to watch it. Other people do it. So I try to do a bit other things with my community, and then come back to games like Assassin's Creed and Cyberpunk when the hype is down and people have played it themselves. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to tune in for sure. I love seeing that kind of stuff, and I'll be there. I hope people check it out. I'll leave a link here to your wonderful channel. I hope people will check it out, see if they dig it. And any last thoughts before we wrap this sucker up?
You. It was fun. It was really fun. I am always glad to be here.
Yes.
It is really fun.
It's a pleasure and an honor to have connected over the years for whatever reason, and I hope to hear more of you and stay in touch.
Yes.
All right, AREVYA, thank you very much. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
We'll see you next
Bye.
time. Bye-bye.